episode 19 of Arcadiology, where we dig up your favorite arcade relics. My name is Jordan Carruthers. I'm here with my three best friends in the world, of course, the Wiggin boys, Mr. Brad Wiggin.
What up?
Mr. Sky Wiggin.
Hey.
And last but certainly not least, Mr. Kyle Wiggin.
Saw dudes.
Saw dude.
Boy. Ready for another fun one tonight, boys?
Always. Look at that.
This will be a good one for sure, but before we get into it, you know how we started off here. Why don't you guys go ahead and tell me what things and games and whatnot have been keeping you busy lately?
I've been playing one other game. It's called Spark, the Electric Jester. I'm assuming no one's heard of this one?
Not at all.
No.
Nope.
I don't know how I came across it. A while back, I had it on my wish list for a while, and it finally went on sale, but they're basically like Sonic games, just like someone else's own take on them. They start out, the first one, it's like a side scroll. It looks a lot like the original Sonic games. But the one I really got into is number 3, which is basically like a 3D Sonic game. So, just like pretty much like the Sonic Adventure games, how you're kind of in a 3D world like that, kind of dashing around, going through the loops. And it's some of the things I didn't like about the Sonic game was kind of like, I don't know, I felt like the gameplay kind of slowed down at certain points. You had to play as the different characters. But this game, it's like the stages are huge. It seems like it's built for how fast you are, and the movement's real fluid. So I've been enjoying it. I probably put about like 3 hours into it. I thought I was going to be done with it. Then I came back to it today to kind of refresh on it. I'll probably finish it out, though. It's pretty fun.
I've been playing, not a ton, but I got into a game that I used to play a good while ago on PC. It's actually on mobile as well. It's called Smash Legends. I know Skylar has played with me before. I think I got him into it. But it's like
I remember that.
It's just like a fun little like arena brawler. So you have like a bunch of different characters to pick from. They all have their own abilities, and you just kind of get into a ring, and there's different game modes, and you just smash it out, dude. But it's like all the characters are. How would you explain them, Skylar? Like folklore, maybe?
I guess, or is it like
It's like fairy tale /
like
folklore.
fairy tale? Yeah.
Yeah, like so they take the characters and they just put like, you can tell by some of their names, but then they put twists on them. So like the one character is Alice, who's like, you clearly has ties to like Alice in Wonderland. They have a character called Red, which is Little Red Riding Hood. She actually has like you can like, they look similar enough that you can tell that that's who it is. But then there's also like, it kind of doesn't, like other than that, it doesn't really have anything to do with the fairy tale itself. But I don't know, it's a fun game if you guys are into arena brawlers. That's what I've been messing with.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that a few days ago or so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's the same one I was talking about. It's fun. It's free. You can play it. Check it out. It's on mobile. I tend to try the best I can if I'm gonna play it to play on my PC, just because I like the bigger screen and I can play with my controller.
All right, Sky, what you got for us?
I've mainly been playing our game for this week, mostly. And then me and Emily jumped on some Team Fortress 2, actually, the other day.
Whoa.
I've been playing a little bit of Team Fortress.
Nice.
Trying to play that. They have
Don't people make like really weird YouTube videos of that game? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
probably.
I think that's the one I'm
think so.
thinking of. I think it's kind of like it's almost like a YouTube meme of some sorts, if it's the one I'm thinking of, and they make some pretty good videos with that.
Yeah, they always have like little cartoon, almost like cartoonish kind of, like little episodes with Team Fortress characters and all that. But yeah, playing that a little bit.
Speaking of Team Fortress, they have you guys seen the new? I think it's new. I've just seen it. Was like is it Marvel Rivals? They're calling it. It's like Overwatch, but with Marvel characters.
Not sure.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't looked into it yet, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it lately. And it's either just came out or it's coming out or something.
Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe in a alpha testing or a closed beta or something. I know I've definitely have just recently heard of it, and I've seen some gameplay, but the gameplay is from like popular streamers, so I'm not sure if it's actually out or if it's in the testing phase. I didn't know how many of you guys were even into like Overwatch type games or into like Marvel stuff that maybe would pique your interest.
I played Overwatch a little bit. I didn't get too crazy into it.
I never have.
I only thought of it because you guys mentioned Team Fortress, and I think Team Fortress was like probably where a lot of inspiration came from, where they started making this like Overwatch type games.
Yeah, like the class-based shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to play a ton of that Team Fortress 2 back on the orange box on the 360.
Oh man, that was the best game.
Yeah, we had the setup in the basement. We had like 3 screens going at once. That was awesome.
Oh, I love
When
me
it
a
wasn't
good
Halo, it
basement
was Team
setup.
Fortress.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to shred that because we had like the like all in the same room communication. We were like an MLG team before it was a real thing. We had Justin was the coach. We're all the players. As soon as one of us dies, like you can just like talk right to the next person beside you, like giving them information.
Justin played that a lot with us too.
Yeah.
We would hold down on a 2 fort where you have to play like capture the flag briefcase, I guess. You capture a briefcase, or they call it capture the flag though. But I remember us playing that. We'd just sit in the intel room. I'd play like engineer. I don't know if he was also an engineer, but we would just lock down that room, and the games would go for like 4 hours. Like it started to get boring after a while because nobody could get in.
Is it still pretty populated, like the servers and stuff?
On the computer, it is. The last time I played it on the Xbox, there wasn't a ton of people. It was mostly dead, it looked like. But the people that did play were like all hackers anyway, so like the Xbox version's pretty much garbage now.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. I prefer playing on the Xbox, but now it's honestly not even worth looking at. With the computer version, I think is still going pretty decent, since you can play it on Steam, so I'm sure there's hackers on there too, but it's a lot more trustworthy than playing on the 360 or the One.
Yeah, for sure these days.
And they have like it's called Man versus Machine, which is like just a co-op mode where you fight a bunch of robot versions of all the classes and stuff. So it's like almost like a tower defense, like they spawn in waves. That's actually pretty cool.
So you can still get by if there's no one else to play with, really?
Yeah, you can go in. I mean, I couldn't solo it because it's that mode is so freaking hard, it's insane. But if you get in there with a couple people, like you guys can just sit there and just destroy waves of robots and stuff. Pretty cool. Yeah, I've been playing that a little bit. I've also been playing our game for this week though, because this game needs a lot of time to play.
Yeah, I think that's kind of about the same for me, man. I unfortunately haven't really had a whole lot of free time the last 2 weeks to play a whole lot. Outside of this, maybe I'll kind of hop on Pokemon Crystal on my phone here and there on like a long car ride or something. But besides for that, yeah, this game for tonight, it takes some TLC, it takes some time for sure. And I put a heck of a lot into it yesterday. I really wish I had a bit more time there to squeeze in at the end, but I would say this is probably the game I've been playing the most for the past 2 weeks. Nothing else too interesting, unfortunately.
That's all right. This one's interesting enough for us, I think.
Yep. Well, I mean, if you boys are ready, we can hop into it, unless you have something else you'd like to add.
I'm all good.
Well, I think we're good, man.
All right, well, if we're ready to go, let's dig up some Outzone. Outzone is a vertical scrolling run and gun game developed by Toplin, I'm going to pronounce it, and released in 1990. You control cyborg mercenaries tasked by the United Nations with eliminating an alien race from the planet Owajira? Again, I'm just going to guess. Owajira after they successfully invade Earth. Throughout the game's 7 stages, you can collect different power-ups, change your weapons, and challenge a massive, massive horde of aliens, along with a boss at the end of every stage, of course. So, there was one thing that we really talked about a lot leading up to our recording tonight. Brad was the first one who kind of warned us, and we all figured out on our own from there. That is the difficulty of this game. So, how do you boys feel about the difficulty of this game now after playing through it as much as we have?
I think it's BS.
It's still, no matter how many times you play, it's still hard. Like
It's tough, man.
Even once I feel like I kind of got a hang of it after a couple playthroughs, I was still struggling on certain parts, no matter what.
Tough. Absolutely.
You guys probably know exactly what parts they are. I think there's at least 2 of them that are ridiculously hard.
There's a handful of parts I think that, I don't know, they're almost like, I don't want to use the term artificially hard because that's not exactly the way I feel about it. But there's like,
I could almost roll towards artificial.
Yeah,
hard.
it's like borderline artificial hard, but I don't know. It's whenever you die, it becomes, which is weird because like it should, when you die and you get like a little bit of a checkpoint, it should be a little easier. You would think like, all right, I've been there, I've done it, I can do it. Like, but some things happen. We can get into it, but some things happen when you die.
Stuff happens
that I think is like almost seems like wasn't intended to happen that way, but it does. But it's difficult.
And one thing about this game too, so the majority of these games that we have played, whenever you die, it will kind of dangle a power up in front of your face to convince you to, pop another coin in there. If you die in this game, no, you're going back further than you want, and you're going back with no upgrades. It's not going to give you anything. You're going to be lucky if you if you die at a certain spot. Like if you die against the boss, you pretty much have no choice. You're not going to find more upgrades at the checkpoint. You kind of just have to go into the boss with no upgrades or power-ups at all. This game does not help you at all whenever you die.
It's kind of an interesting checkpoint system. If you just die and use one of your lives, you'll continue a little bit further back. Like I think you can pretty much repeat the boss. You spawn pretty close to the boss if you die.
Yeah.
But it's when you have to add another token in that you go further back then after that. You get a soft checkpoint during one token. Once those lives are gone, then you go farther back and you have to go all the way back up to the boss. And
yeah, okay, and also go ahead, Kyle.
Well, I was just going to say, hear me out, and maybe I'm the only one that thinks this, but I prefer to get the game over checkpoint that takes you a little farther back.
I agree.
Than to get the soft checkpoint that gets you closer. Because it seems like every time you get the soft checkpoint where you're close to the boss, you have to fight the boss now with no upgrades, and that's where I start to feel that artificial difficulty where it's I'm not even meant to beat this guy. I don't know why I even have 3 lives. It should just give me the game over right away, because I'm going to get a game over guaranteed, because I need to go a little farther back to get a couple upgrades so I can even beat the thing that's ahead of me.
You do have to be careful, though, because if you say you continue from a checkpoint and you now lose all of your lives and game over right around that exact same spot, it will actually send you further back from there then. So you can actually, if you keep dying too fast, you have to advance. Because if you die too fast, it will send you further and further and further back. It's pretty relentless if you're not careful.
Yeah, I noticed that. And what I would do if I'm on my last life and I feel like I'm going to revert back to the previous checkpoint, I'll just run and kind of spam the bombs as soon as any enemies are on the screen so I can clear them out. Because you get 3 bombs, I think, each life. So I'll just I don't even care, I'm not even trying to beat the game at this point. I'm just trying to get to the next soft checkpoint so that it doesn't send me back even further. You just kind of sprint, spam your bombs, get up to the next little checkpoint area. That way if you die, you got all 3 lives again and you have a better chance of getting through.
That's a little strategy in itself.
Yeah.
If you're down to your last life and you think you're going to get wrecked, just run as far as you can. Don't pick anything up. Don't even worry if you get hit a couple feet ahead of you. Just try to hit that next checkpoint.
Yep. And it didn't tell you when you hit a checkpoint either, did it? Unless there's something I didn't notice.
No.
You kind of
It
was just, you had no idea.
You just have to memorize them at some point. There's no indication of when you hit them.
It seems fairly generous though in when you get the checkpoints. I don't feel like you had to go too far to get the next soft checkpoint.
No, it's just certain checkpoints. It's oh man, I wish I could have maybe got a couple power ups here.
Yeah, you kind of soft lock yourself in a section where you can't really get out of.
There were just so many times where I was at a certain spot in the game, the next stretch was tough, and I just learn a little bit more of the pattern, and I'd die and get back to the checkpoint, and go ahead again and learn a tiny bit more of the pattern, and die and get back to the checkpoint, and just repeat until I had the whole pattern for that section I'm stuck on down. And it could waste a lot of lives to get to that point.
Oh, and waste lives I did.
I am terrified to get to the numbers section, but we'll save that for later. What else in this game makes it difficult? So we'll point out the energy system. Now, the energy system is basically this game's version of a time limit. It's a time limit. So you have an energy meter at the top of the screen, and once the energy meter is almost depleted, your character will slow down, and I believe you actually lose a life if it completely runs out. That didn't happen to me, but I think that's what I read happens. As I said, it's essentially your time limit, and you can pick up items on the map. It's just a glowing block that says E. That's what you need to gather to increase your energy. So if you're getting to a point where the screen is beeping, you're running low in energy, you better start running and just hope you find one of those little glowing boxes.
Yeah, you definitely do die, just to let you know for sure. You die if it goes the whole way down. You'll start move so slow to where you can't even move, then your guy just dies.
Yeah, he becomes worthless for those last few seconds.
I like getting that last clutch energy tank though.
Yeah, just in time.
I'm super slow. It's about to completely stop and kill me, and then I just grab one. I'm all right, I got another 20 seconds.
Either that, and also there's the power up that extends your energy. If you get that, it maxes out your energy again. So that's also
Dude, that thing
one
is
feels
nice.
good.
I love seeing that.
Yeah, that can definitely make it tough because it prevents you from kind of just going slowly and taking your time. You have to always be moving, and you're always moving towards a tremendous amount of enemies. So that's another thing that kind of adds to the difficulty here.
Now, your energy meter, is it literally only like a time thing? Like it only goes down based on time? Or is it deplete like when you're spamming your gun?
From what I noticed, I believe it's only just over time.
That's what I've
Yeah, I think it's
thought as
just
well.
a set time.
Okay, it might be. I just thought sometimes it was like I was like spamming my gun like crazy and then like it seemed like it was going down faster. I was like running out of time. I was like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
You're just panicking.
Yeah.
That's when it gets low. That's another point where you just say screw it and you run as far as you can.
Yep.
It's worth pointing out that this is a vertical scrolling, but it's not like the screen's not like constantly scrolling. It only, except for like one section, it only moves when you move. So you kind of progress the screen at your own pace. So you can kind of get yourself into a bad spot if you don't move quick enough.
I usually hate like timers and stuff like that in games. And it's
Stressful.
frustrating in this too, but I still it still like makes it urgent though. Like if you could just sit back the whole time for 10 minutes and plan, it would kind of be boring. I kind of like the fact that they rush you a little bit, so you have to balance your timing and stuff.
As soon as that screen starts beeping, though, man, you'll start to panic a bit.
Yeah, that's part of the challenge of the game. Like I usually hate that stuff, but for this game, I thought it was kind of necessary.
I mean, unless you're like standing still, I feel like they had enough energies like throughout the stages that you were usually pretty safe. Unless you're like really screwing around and just like farming one section or just waiting, you usually can make it to like the next energy refill before you die.
I agree.
Yeah, they're pretty generous with the placement of those energy tanks.
Well, there's some places that become a problem whenever you like if you die because then you get a soft checkpoint and you have no upgrades, and then killing some of these enemies takes like twice as long if you don't have the upgrades, and that's where I start running into time issues.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a point where I actually could not kill the enemies unless I ran through it and just spam my bombs. It was the only way for me to get through it.
Yeah, a couple of those sections are rough, man. I don't know how. I know people have done it, just running through, run and gun. But there's certain parts where I have to use a bomb to clear this place out.
100%. And I typically always memorized the spot where I wanted to use a bomb if I went back to a checkpoint, and I would just use them at the exact same spot every time because I knew I wasn't going to take these enemies out otherwise. There was just too many sometimes.
Certain spots that are good to just use a bomb anyway, just to clear it out.
Another one of the things that really, really cost me a lot of lives, one of by far the most frustrating parts about this game, it is incredibly easy at certain points to fall off of the stage. And if you fall off, that's it. It's one life gone. There's no climbing back up, none of that. And man, there's a lot of very narrow pathways. And I swear, it's not lenient with it. If you get anywhere near the edge of those pathways, you're going down. And especially when you're being swarmed by tens of enemies at that time and you're trying to avoid all of their attacks at once, it can be almost impossible to avoid falling off the stage here and there.
Yeah, and especially if you're unprepared for the section and you have the wrong weapon and it's literally impossible to hit some enemies, that makes it rough too.
Yeah, some of those having like the wrong power up in the wrong section is such a pain. Like I almost want to just die and go get a different power up.
Do you guys want to talk about the power-ups and the weapons now then? We can just segue right into that while we're talking about it here.
Might as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time.
There's two basic weapons that your character can have, and throughout the stages, you'll find these little crates, these chests that have a C on them, and if you collect the glowing C box inside of them, it will change between these two weapons. So the two standard ones, I don't know if there's like a name or anything, but there's a gun that will shoot 3 spread out shots ahead of you. The downside to that one is you can only face forward at all times whenever you have it. You cannot turn around. There is what I personally call the pink pew pew laser gun. It just shoots in a straight line, but it will let you turn in any direction. I believe, I guess it's like 8 directions or whatever in this game. But you can spin in circles with that sucker and kind of just spread it everywhere. And then we got the more upgraded ones. You can upgrade both of those, but also there's some upgraded weapons. Of course, you can pick up bombs. You can pick up what's called the super burner, which is a flamethrower. There's the super ball, which just has a glowing ball that circles around you. There's a speed up upgrade, which, not a fan. There's a shield upgrade, which just gives you an extra hit. And as Brad mentioned earlier, there's the energy extender, which will give you more energy, of course. So any upgrades, any weapons you guys liked, you didn't like? Let me hear what you think.
I mean, it really varied. Each weapon pretty much had its strengths in certain sections. Like if the map was like real open, I kind of like the spread like 3-way shot because you can kind of clear everything while just running straight. But the only thing that sucks with that is you can't hold it in. You got to keep on pressing it. With the other one where you can just like spin around and shoot, you can just hold the button down and just constantly nonstop shoot. So I would sometimes just switch to that because my thumb was getting sore from clicking so much.
Oh my
So that
God,
was
yes.
the main reason I would switch.
There were absolutely times I had to pause the game and let my hand rest because my thumbs were always tired. And originally, I actually didn't know that you could mash the button with that spread shot to make it shoot faster because I always did the pew pew laser gun. I just held the button in and it shot almost full speed, like just short of full speed. But if you hold the button in with the spread shot, it shoots it extremely slowly. So I just thought that's all the faster it could shoot. It wasn't until I think I had spent tons of tokens up at like the stage 4 boss or something when I finally realized that you could mash the button for that gun and it became significantly more effective. And then from that point on, it was pretty much my go-to weapon. I always had that spread shot unless it was an area like one of those maze areas where you have to circle around a lot. I fell in love with that weapon once I realized you could just mash the button.
Yeah, I was the same, dude. I was spread shot for probably like 90% of the game. I mean, there was really no time that I would like voluntarily give up my spread shot for the other power up, but there were times when I died and hit like a soft checkpoint that I would maybe use that like a basic gun just to kill like the first 1 or 2 enemies that were on screen. For like certain situations it was good for it, but then immediately I would get the spread shot back whenever I could.
I also stuck with that 3-way shot for most of the game. There's a couple sections like tight corridors where the 8-directional shot is good because you can sometimes enemies sneak up behind you once you go so far up the screen. So it's good to use that and turn around and smack them. The other super power-up stuff I didn't use too much. Like the flamethrower is really powerful, but it's so slow. Like if you have the normal 8-way shot, whenever you turn, your bullets immediately follow you. Like they go that direction. The flamethrower kind of has like a sweeping kind of lag to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was annoying.
But
Short
it's
range
strong.
too.
Yeah, short range for sure. Which is, I mean, some of the enemies you can slowly inch up the screen and you can kill them before they even fire on you, like all the turrets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you can hit them with a flamethrower from that far away. And that Super Ball things was decent for some of the corridor sections because it can hit enemies like over walls and in spots you normally can't reach unless you actually walk there. But I think for the most part, that 3-way shot was pretty much the king of the game.
I agree. Once I
And
realized.
I do pick them. I do grab them speed power-ups, because without that, some of those sections, you're just too slow to do anything.
Yeah,
I
agree.
didn't like the speed power-ups at all, man. I hated getting those.
It takes getting used to, man.
If I saw those pop up, I avoided them. I hated them, especially when you're in one of those narrow pathway sections and you can fall off the stage. No way.
I mean, that's when you got to slowly do little tap walks, creep up a little bit, shoot, back up.
I believe all the special weapons, it just said SP on it. Is that right?
Yeah, they're just like different colors.
Okay, yeah, I didn't have the color coded down. Some I didn't really. I knew blue was for speed, but other than that, I just grabbed it. I didn't figure out what anything was at the time because it's. I don't know. I didn't remember every color, what everything did. It would have been cool if they had like a different letter or something designated to them.
Yeah.
You just got to kind of
Or
memorize.
put like a little, put like an image or something of the weapon or.
Right, something.
The only thing I got mixed up was the shield and the Super Ball were kind of the same color, like a pink purple kind of color. So I thought I'd be grabbing a shield, and I grab a Super Ball instead. I'm like,
The Super Ball is a very like light pink purple kind of color. I believe the shield was white. The energy extender, I believe, was green. Speed up is blue. Super burner, I think it's like a red or something. If I saw like I didn't like the super burner. The Super Ball is okay sometimes. I avoided those more often than not and kind of just stuck with the basic guns.
like you really got to be used to how those weapons work to use them. Like I've seen a couple playthroughs where guys were shredding bosses with those weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Where like I would try that and I just get decimated.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, I'm going to stick with a 3-way shot. That is pretty much like the best boss killer anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I think I use that for literally every boss. I would always try to get the spread shot because like pretty much the bosses are all at the top of the screen, so you never really need to shoot behind you. So if you're locked into only shooting forward, that's actually perfect because you can kind of strafe around while just keep on shooting, and you're pretty much always hitting something.
I think the only boss where you would, I mean, if you would want to switch to like a single shot weapon, I don't know if it's boss two or three, the one with the lasers that cuts the level in half.
You said the exact same thing I was gonna say. It's stage 3.
Oh, is that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Them lasers cut the level in half, so like it spawns little robots out of the sides. So if they get behind you and they start building up and spamming, and you can't hit them, like you're pretty much dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a little strategy. I still stuck with a 3-way for that one too.
I mean, you can juke back and forth on it. You just gotta,
Right.
You have to stay consistent with that. If you miss it, it gets really hard.
Yeah, you're in trouble if you miss. And I'll tell you guys, man, that boss was rough for me personally.
Last thing I got on the power-ups, just like the shield. Like, in theory, obviously, it's awesome. It's a shield. Like, you get one extra hit, because you're just one-hit kill in this game. You take any damage, you're instantly dead. So you have the shield. I just felt like it was like, I don't know, false security. Anytime you took one shot, you're taking like 18, because there's so many bullets coming at you. I don't think the shield ever saved me from a death, because anytime I got hit by something, there's like 6 more bullets in every other direction that's also going to kill me.
I loved it.
I think it just surprises you so much that you mess up.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, like sometimes when you juke, you're like, oh, that was close. Then a bullet hits you, takes your shield. You're like, oh man, I almost died there. And then you run into like 6 more. You're like, oh.
Pretty much.
You're just so pumped that you didn't die from that, and then you run straight to your death.
So pumped that you didn't die that you go and die instead.
I remember a specific spot. It was one of the later stages, like 5 through 7. It's 5. So late in the stage, you have this section where you're on a moving platform. It's just going straight up and a little left and right. And you have these bats flying towards you. But the checkpoint the checkpoint right before that section would always give me like 3 or 4 upgrades right before I got on that. And every time, because it's random. Like, it seems like the upgrades are random. It could be something different every time. So if I got like a speed upgrade or something, it's worthless for that section. So I was always praying that I got like a shield and maybe like a bomb or 2. There was always very specific upgrades I wanted for that, and I was praying for the shield. I know you say you don't love the shield, but for that section, I always wanted it.
Yeah, take anything you can get there. I think that's the hardest part in the entire game.
I disagree.
Really?
I mean, I definitely got stuck there, and I had to get through it a couple times. But by the time I was like working my way through that, I could have anything. It didn't matter what they gave me, and I could kill all the bats and avoid everything. Like, I found a pattern, so I could just get through it pretty easy. But like I definitely got stuck there when I first got to it. But after that, I was like, okay, I know what to do here. I can get through it. But there were some other parts that I think were harder.
Any specific parts you want to mention?
I think there were 2 parts that were pretty annoying. Mind you, these are both like, these spots are from like dying and getting a soft checkpoint, and you have like nothing but like just picking up the first upgrade, which is like just the triple shot or whatever. It's like it's not powered up or anything. You have no shield, no speed boost. But trying to get through some of these sections, like I think it's the level right after the one you guys are talking about. You kill the boss, and then you have to get through like this long corridor where like these things come popping out of the sides, and there's like 4 enemies attached to it. It's like a wall with 4 enemies attached.
Yeah.
And you have to like kill those, and then like another one pops out like as you go through this corridor, and it seems like it takes forever to get through. That part I thought was difficult with no upgrades.
Are you talking about, because there's 2 sections I can think of where there's like the wall popping out and shooting at you. Are you talking about the one in specific where whenever you destroy the wall, it stays on the screen and you can hide behind it?
Yes.
See, I thought that part was pretty easy because you could use those as a shield after you took them out.
Were you starting from nothing, or did you actually have power-ups on that?
I'm pretty sure I've done it from nothing outside of the triple shot a few times. It's kind of just a matter of peeking out from behind the wall and getting a few shots and going back into hiding again. It took some time, but...
That was the issue, though. This is one of the areas where when you had no power-ups, and I'm trying to get through this, but you're trying to like hide behind the wall and not take shots, where I was actually like running out of energy because it was taking too long. So you actually can't hide as much as you would want to hide.
You just can't miss those shots.
There is a trick to that spot, though. I don't know about the 8-way shot, but if you have the triple shot and you get right against those things, your shot on the right will actually go through the wall. So you can actually just hug that wall and shoot through it, and as the thing moves back and forth, you'll shoot them.
Oh wow! Wish I'd have known that.
It's an easy way to cheese it.
Look at this man finding secrets.
Wait, pause the pod. I'm gonna be right back.
He's about to take 10 credits off his score.
But until I saw that, that's a spot that I probably did die once running out of time trying to get through that.
Yeah, I would pretty much just like run as far as I'd take out like one or two of them, and then I'd go as far as I can, like to so like 2 or 3 around the screen, then hurry up and use a bomb so it would kill them all, and then I could get up a
When
little
in
further.
doubt, bomb it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I think I could like vastly improve my score if I used that bomb strategy more. Like you know what I mean? I didn't really like get into doing that until like later in the game when I was like starting to get frustrated. In the beginning, I would just keep doing it, right? Because I wasn't like upset yet, right? So I was like, I'll try it again, and I just kept doing it and like dying a bunch. But if I would have just been like, I just want to get past it, I could have just ran through and used bombs.
For that, the floating platform part, you said you figured out that pattern,
Yeah.
or whatever. Did you do that without bombs?
Yes.
You are a madman.
Yeah. I didn't need anything for that.
Oh man, I was getting so mad at that part.
Yeah,
That's probably my most played section in the game.
I think there was only one spot from there that I needed the bomb. There was only one single group of bats that I just couldn't get around without the bomb.
I think it's like the 3rd or 4th wave where they do like a weird squiggly pattern.
The one I need the bomb was whenever they actually loop around and go behind you.
Yeah.
That's when
it.
I needed to bomb them.
Like I definitely got through that point, through that spot, and I do remember like that being the only point where I used a bomb as well. But that's only if you don't kill them fast enough when they're coming out. If they get behind you, then you probably do need a bomb.
what's kind of nice right before you get up to that, I mean, unless you die and you have to hit the soft checkpoint, but there's like, I don't even know, like 40 enemies. Every enemy you kill drops a power up. It's either a bomb or like a new weapon or an upgrade. So you can, unless you die like right before you get there, you can easily get to that section with max bombs, which I don't even know, it's like 15. So
10, I think.
I mean, if you play it right, it's pretty easy. But if you die right before you get there, then you have nothing.
That's the thing, man. You could do so well up to that point. If you mess up and die once, then you're back to stock 3 bombs.
Yeah.
Crappy, no power-ups. Like, that's when it gets tough.
That spot's one of the perfect examples of when like the hard checkpoint, like getting a game over, is like way better than getting that soft checkpoint, because if you get the game over trying to get across this bridge, then it puts you a little farther back and you can get like actually get an upgrade, get a power up, get like a couple more bombs.
Yeah, that was one of the more frustrating parts of the game.
So another thing that killed me a lot, and we'll see if you guys agree here. So there are multiple stages that have kind of maze-like corridors you have to go through, and I died way more times than I would like to admit, just getting stuck on the corner of a wall, trying to get back around the corner to hide behind a shot, and the corner would just snag me, and I get stuck there and get shot, get taken out. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I've definitely been there where you think you're like, oh, I'm good. I can, you know what I mean? You think you're feeling the movement, you know where you're going, but then you're just like standing there and a guy runs into you and you die. It sucks.
Yep.
Some of those spawns are tricky, too. Like how they randomly come up from behind you. Or you'll clear an area out, and you'll run forward, and now they come out of the side where you just killed them already.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta learn like how many waves spawn and stuff like that.
There's just always so much going on at all times. I'm just going to ask just outright, are there any stages, any specific sections, any moments, any bosses, just anything in specific really that you guys want to point out that we haven't already, of course?
I want to at least kick off by saying, like, I absolutely love the way that this game did getting from stage to stage.
Oh, yeah.
At first I was like, I didn't know. I was like, am I still on the first stage? I've been playing for like 20 minutes. And then like, I realized that like there is no loading screen. There is no like transitions. It's just like you go through a stage, kill the boss, and then like you just get to like walk past the boss and like you're on stage 2 now and you just keep going. It's almost like it was all one big continuous thing. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. I had that written down. I wanted to bring up as well. Especially, I think it was the second boss. It's like a giant tank, and once you blow him up, it like blows a hole through the middle of it, and then you move on to the next stage. You just like walk through them after you get your points. That part was sweet. Like the tank exploded on fire around you as you're just cruising into the next level.
Yeah.
Way cooler than please wait, loading.
Yeah, or just the typical black screen, and it just kind of transitions into the next thing. It's just such a smooth transition. It's awesome.
It's like they use that end of the level like scoring counter as a loading screen almost.
Yeah.
So as soon as your score's all done, tallied up, boom, you just start right where you're at.
Most of the bosses were actually pretty awesome. They had really cool designs, like fun patterns. Each one was, I thought, very unique of a fight. Like you had to approach it differently. especially like the third boss. I think Sky brought this up earlier, the one with the lasers. How it like has this laser beam and it cuts the stage, like slices it off, so it's like a smaller platform. You got to dodge the laser as it's trying to slice you, and then you have less of a platform to walk on. I thought that boss was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was definitely the first one in the game that gave me a lot of problems, though.
Yeah, I struggled
It's
for a
mainly
little
them little
bit.
robots, man. Them little robots that sneak behind you.
Yeah, that's the only issue, really. That, and I can't tell you how many times I replayed the boss on stage 4, which admittedly should not have been the hardest boss ever because his pattern is not tough, but I'll tell you why I replayed him a million times. So, as we said earlier, for the laser gun, you can just hold in the button, it'll shoot. For the triple shot, it took me a while to realize that you had to mash the button to do it at full speed. And so every time I was doing the stage 4 boss and just starting over again from the checkpoint with no upgrades, I was trying it with just the normal laser because I didn't realize the triple shooter shot faster. And every single time I ran out of energy before I could kill him. And then whenever I finally realized, oh, I can just mash the button with the triple shooter, then all of a sudden, there he goes. No problem. Took him out. Wasted a lot of tokens.
Is that the boss that punches you with like the blue fist?
No, but I thought he was one of the easiest ones.
I think
That's stage
4 or 5?
6. That's 6.
Is he 6?
The one Jordan's talking about is like the final boss in Alien Syndrome, basically. Remember, it's like the giant head, and it shoots like the 3 things that circle around you. That's what it reminded me of.
Wait, circle around you. It's like the big green tank. First, it shoots 4 black missiles at you, and then it
Right.
opens up
Yeah.
to reveal like the core. Yeah, and has like those blades or whatever circling around the core.
Right, yeah. It pretty much played like the final boss of Alien Syndrome. You had to like dodge, go in between as those are spinning
Oh,
around, shoot them,
yeah.
and come back out.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it does.
I couldn't remember the Alien Syndrome boss at first. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was the only boss I ran out of energy on. I ran out on that one as well once.
So many times.
That boss was like easy and hard at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to describe it.
I fully agree with you though.
Like the first part's simple, like dodge the missiles or you can blow them up or whatever. But as soon as that shell breaks off and he comes near you and starts spinning, I don't know why the timing on that was so weird. Maybe just because I sucked at it for a long time, but it felt like that hitbox was like it was almost impossible for me to get between those little spinning thingies.
Yeah, the hitboxes weren't always very forgiving in this game.
That's weird though, because I thought on Alien Syndrome it was really hard, and you seemed like you breezed through that one. This one I didn't have any trouble with. I was able to squeeze right through and hit him.
We just flipped on that one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm watching this now, like the video you posted, Brad. It's no big secret. You guys know I played this one time, like 2 hours ago. But now that I'm like watching it back and I'm realizing like how insanely difficult this game is if you ever die. Like when these guys aren't dying and they have all these power-ups, everything in this game gets like one shot. This guy, I just watched him fight the boss you're talking about, and all we had to do, he just had the triple spread shot thing powered up, and as soon as the core opens up, he just walks inside one time and then just kills the boss. Like he doesn't have to walk back out. So he just goes in one time, shoots the boss, and it kills it. When I fought this, I had no upgrades. I had to go inside, shoot him, get back out. Go inside, shoot him,
Yeah.
get back out. Like multiple times.
I want to say this guy has to be using like a hold the fire. He's like cheating essentially.
He definitely is. Yeah, I noticed that when he was using the single shot.
Every video I've watched looks like they're all using turbo.
Yeah. I don't think if you play like realistically, like spamming the button, I don't think you can kill him in one go.
But he also didn't use a bomb at all. So like, I mean, really,
Right.
if he wanted to, right, he could have just probably went in, tapped it, and then just bombed and probably killed it just as quick. But I'm realizing how difficult, like how much more dodging and stuff I have to do because I can't kill things as fast as these guys.
Yeah, it gets you with the steamroll effect. You die once and you just keep on tumbling away. You just can
Yeah.
never get back on your feet. It's like on what was it, like JJ Squawkers felt like that a lot too. As soon as you die
Mhm.
once, I would just like reset the game and start over.
So, Sky, the boss that you mentioned earlier is one that I wanted to talk about as well. The stage 6 boss. He's the one who I think he has 4 fists, and they extend out to punch you. And then right after the punch, he shoots out a few fireballs. I thought he was maybe, besides for like, the stage 1 boss, that's obvious. I thought he was maybe the easiest boss in the game, or at least one of them, because not only were his attacks predictable, because he really only had the 2 attacks, but all you really had to do is just kind of bob and weave back and forth. You just go one side of the screen, because the punch doesn't reach the whole way to the bottom of the screen. Stay at the very bottom, you go the whole way to one side, the punch will kind of just miss you, and then you immediately go over the other way so the fireballs will miss you. I thought he was pretty easy, but I thought he was a pretty fun one to play at least.
I think that's a boss that really took your timer down a lot though. Like he wasn't hard. It's just his weakness only opened up at certain points. So like you only got a couple seconds every time to shoot him.
Yeah, a lot of the bosses will do that. Their weakness is they're only vulnerable at certain points in the fight. And that
I think
could be
that's the
pretty
only
rough.
boss, like if you die and you get stuck there, like I felt like I personally had to use at least one bomb to get through that without running out of time.
If you had the speed power up, that one was even easier because you could outrun his shots like so easy. You could zip back and forth across the screen. The one time I got there with the speed power up, and he was no problem at all because you can easily dodge his punch and get away from his blast. Because I think you'd only hit him when he shoots. He shoots all those like little energy ball looking things at you.
Yes.
And that's when he
Yeah.
opens up. Yeah, so you can kind of kite around him real easy with the speed boost.
That's the same with that laser boss. Like to destroy them little bots, I felt like if I didn't have the speed power up, I couldn't go left and right fast enough to take them out.
It was possible, but it was hard. I would stand like right in front of the enemy, like where he shoots, like in the middle of the boss, and just kind of go, as soon as one comes out, start moving the other direction to get the other one. And you pretty much dodge his attacks while you're doing that. And it wasn't easy, but I did figure out a way to get through him without dying.
Damn, so that guy beat me up tough on my first playthrough.
Oh, my first
Yeah.
playthrough, I don't even want to talk
Yep.
about that, but yeah.
It's not even worth mentioning.
That's where it feels like a lot of that artificial difficulties kind of creeps in, is when like you die and you don't have power-ups and you have to fight this boss, and it almost seems like they have it calculated to a point where it's like the damage from your normal gun now that you have is like just barely enough to not time out while shooting this boss. Like he has just enough health that matches how much damage you do.
Yeah, that gets brutal.
I have a question on the final boss here, because the video I'm watching, like he's shooting way more attacks than he shot at me. I don't know if you guys, what it was like for you, but I thought the final boss was the easiest boss in the game. I thought it was easier than the first boss, honestly.
Yeah, so I'm not watching the same video as you guys, so I can't say for sure, but he definitely shot a lot of attacks at me, I felt like, but at the same time, I thought he was pretty easy to read and avoid his attacks. So even though, and I mean, when I say he shot a lot of things at you at once, my game literally lagged as he was launching his attacks at me. So I know he was doing a lot of things, but they were typically kind of easy to avoid. And I agree. I think he was one of the easier bosses in the game.
I mean, I think I used bombs on him because it's the last boss, so I just unloaded any bombs I had
Oh,
left.
yeah.
Maybe that's why. Yeah, he went down quick. He just threw like a couple bombs that blew off. Like he has like this lightsaber. It's weird because he holds it. He doesn't swing it. He just like extends his hand like straight out, and like if you're in the path of it, it'll hit you. But yeah, you blow his arms off, and then he just has like these little energy balls that kind of like circle around you. And I just kind of stood in the middle, hit him with that, and dropped some bombs on him, and he died so fast.
Yeah, even without the bombs, he really isn't all that bad because, as I said, he's kind of just easy to read.
He's kind of got to keep moving with him because there's always something flying at you.
Yeah.
I don't know. The bosses were pretty awesome in this game, though. Some
Yeah.
of them were more annoying than others.
For sure.
A lot of them were hard to recover from, but for the most part, they were all at least interesting and unique.
And they generally, there might have been like one exception, but they pretty much always had like to change your weapon, the C power up, before every boss. So you could pretty much, if you have the wrong weapon when you get there, you can easily switch it to get the one you need, which I thought was pretty nice because they didn't completely screw you over and lock you into like a weapon you didn't want to use.
Yeah, they made sure you were ready for the bosses for the most part, unless, of course, you died and had to go back to the checkpoint, and that's really all you can do is change the weapon, but then it's just the basic
Yeah.
weapons.
I think that stage 5 boss is probably the most difficult. If you didn't bomb or if you used bombs up before you got to him.
That's the one right after the moving platform.
Yeah, I believe so. Just them homing rockets, man.
I'm trying to remember the stage 5 boss because on my notes here, all I wrote was that he was really tough and I spammed bombs and hoped for the best. I don't
That's
even
what I
really,
did.
I don't really remember him outside of that.
He's the one that he has like I don't know, them little purple things that chase you on that platform. Well, those things
Yeah.
spawn around shooting at you, and then he shoots like homing like missiles at you. And I got clipped by those all the time, man.
The pointy ones, the homing missiles, yeah, those sucked. I hated when enemies had those.
And as soon as that fight starts, he comes down just right out the gate, boom, 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 just launching on you. So you gotta like stand right between his guns and like kind of inch along with him as he moves.
Yeah, that was actually my one complaint, how I was just praising them for giving me the change power up before every boss. This one, it had the change power up on the boss screen, and you only have like a third of the screen to walk on. So if I showed up with the weapon I wanted, which is what I needed to get there, I'm trying to dodge all those rockets, and I hit the stupid seed, and I switched to the 8-way shot, and I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm gonna be able to kill this thing with
Yeah.
that weapon, and that definitely frustrated me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like the one point where like they put a power up that's it's like actively in your way, making you have a worse time.
It's that Mazinger Z syndrome. Got those power-ups you don't want in your damn way.
Overall, they were good with it, though. I think that was the only time that it actually affected me like that.
Now the hardest part in the game was the few sort of screens right before you get to the final boss, where you have to like run, and there's like floor panels that if you step on the floor panels, they fall out from under you.
Oh my god!
I was gonna bring that part up next.
Bro, there's these guys that just do not stop coming, so you have to advance forward, because if you like, you can't just like sit back and like try to kill them and then inch and like slowly move, because like they won't stop coming. And
Oh man!
again, if you die and you have no power-ups, these guys take so long to kill. You're just mashing the button. They don't stop. They keep shooting rockets. The rockets home onto you, and they have like very sharp turning radiuses. So it's not even like you can kind of like loop them in a circle. Like they just like do like a 90-degree turn and just fly at you.
that was the artificial difficulty part.
Yeah,
I
this
think.
is probably where I got stuck the longest, because I just could not kill these things. I was like, there's just no way I can actually like skillfully advance through here. And so I had to just like, it was like gamble. I would die, respawn, and just like kill like one or two just so I could like get moving. And then I would have to just dodge everything I could just running, and then use a bomb when it got crazy, and like just keep doing it until I had no bombs left at the end.
Dude, this is wild because I was ready to hop in there. You 100% just said every single word for word that I was about to say. Like they have those homing lasers, they have the trap doors in the floor that are impossible to see. Well, they're not impossible to see, but it took me a few tries to even notice which tile on the floor was the trap door and which wasn't. So I wasted some lives on that. They're huge enemies. They take up the damn screen. And yeah, like you said, pretty much same strategy. I would kill like the first one or two, and then just freaking mad dash to the top of the screen. I didn't care about killing them. I just wanted to get past them. I'd just run, and I would throw out a bomb if I got desperate. And that was the only way to get past it for me.
That was one of them hard checkpoint areas too. Like even once you got past them, I think was the boss right after that, pretty much.
You had a little bit of a stretch left. It was like you had to
You
fight
had a little bit left.
those guys, like the other giant ships that shoot those blue laser beams that are like super fast.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Those
two.
things snipe you
Forgot.
out. Those are rough.
You can hide from some of them though.
Yeah, you can. It's just if they're aiming at you when they shoot, it's pretty much going to hit you. It moves so fast.
Yeah, I would pretty much hide behind that little red block that they came out of, and then they would just fly off the screen eventually.
Yeah, what got me with those, pretty much everything in the game, if you use a bomb, it like instantly kills it. I mean, other than a boss, it'll like instantly kill everything on the screen. It did it for those too, but it took like an extra second, it seemed like. So I would kill them, but they would like explode and also kill me if I was close to them. So that got me so many times where I'd be like planning out my pattern, like I'm going to drop a bomb right before I run past him, and it would still kill me as I killed him. I think I was the only enemy in the game I noticed that with.
About those floor panels that keep dropping out when you're running past those like missile guys. How long were you guys able to actually stand on those? Because it seemed like I could barely touch it and I fell.
Maybe half a second at best.
Yeah, I don't think you can even run past them.
I swear I saw dudes in videos like just walking across them.
It
I was
gives
like, how
you
are they
the
doing that?
tiniest bit of leeway, but I mean, like, not even to the point that you could just like sprint across one. Like maybe you can get across the corner of one at best.
Yeah, like maybe I'm assuming the guys you're watching are like one credit, so they probably, I don't know if sometimes these guys have speed boosts on or what they're doing, but
Yeah, they probably got. Can you only get one speed boost? I actually didn't realize if you could or not.
I don't know that
I
either.
assume.
I only
I'm
ever
not sure if
noticed
I ever
one.
picked up two.
Yeah, I don't know if it stacks. I think you might just get one, but I don't know for sure.
You get the speed boost, you gotta wait for the cross swords merchant to pop up and ask you if you want to speed up again.
I swear, anytime I touched those tiles, I just like dropped instantly. I was like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
I pretty much just hugged the right wall and would like run up. I died like a couple times, but for the most part, you can like outrun most of the rockets before they like get close enough to you. They'd be off the screen. and then I just use like a bomb or two to kind of snake through and get, because the one section, the whole screen is pretty much the trap floor, and there's like a tiny little narrow pathway you have to get through, and that's the part I would get
Very
stuck
end.
at, trying to make my way over there. Yeah, right at the very end,
Yeah.
right when you think you're free, one more like comes down. If you don't move up fast enough, like 6 more come down.
I was pissed when I saw that little narrow spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, those enemies, if you're at that narrow spot and like you haven't like crossed past it yet, if you just stand there trying to like fight your way through it, those enemies do not stop.
Mm-mm.
There's no end to them.
That's what's
They just
weird.
keep coming.
I think that's like the only spot in the game where it is like infinite respawn.
Seems
that I
that
can
way.
tell. I don't know if there's another spot like that.
Yeah, and if you've died, like which sounds like we all did, then you have like not a good power up, so they take even longer to kill, and it's like you almost can't kill them fast enough without using a bomb.
And this is also one of the sections in the game. I can recall 1 or 2 spots like this where you're kind of going down a long corridor of just the same thing over and over again like this. And this is one of those sections where the checkpoint, it will give you a checkpoint right smack dab in the middle of it. So as soon as you spawn, you better start freaking moving because you have no time to prepare for it. You're already in the middle of that section.
Yeah, there were a few spots like that.
One of the nice things, though, is whenever you use a bomb, it'll also take out any of the enemy projectiles that are on the screen at the time. And as we said, those enemies in that section will launch a lot of those homing missiles at you. So if you get really, really desperate, you can see you're about to get hit by one of the 30 missiles on the screen, the bomb will take all of them out for you at least.
Yeah, I think I generally use my bombs defensively, just like to save myself from dying
Yeah.
rather than to kill the enemies. That seemed to be the safer play.
Yeah, they were definitely a lifesaver.
Yeah, this game is definitely more defense. Like you want to pay more attention. At least this is the way I did it. You want to pay more attention to avoiding the enemy attacks rather than paying attention to where you're aiming your own. Because you can spread your shots around just fine, but you need to really be hyper focused on the enemy attacks because they're everywhere. Very defensive focused game, which feels kind of weird for an arcade game.
I guess would you call it a bullet hell game? Falls in that territory.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Unless there's like different degrees of it. Bullet hell's like just the screen is bullets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was that much going on.
We'll call it a bullet
Maybe
hell
not
light.
at all times. Yeah,
Bullet
there
hell
you
light.
go.
Yeah, I like that.
Perfect.
I'll watch all the pro bullet hell guys like, what a bunch of nerds. They think that's bullet hell.
Oh,
We'll call it
whatever.
bullet heck. It's a nerf version.
Bullet heck. Yeah, it's a light version.
I love it. I love it.
That's gonna be the new term for games like this. Bullet heck.
Bullet
boys.
heck. Bullet HE double hockey sticks. Oh my god. All right, so one of the sections I wanted to point out. So this is in stage 3. And whenever you look at this area, it's pretty intimidating, but it ends up kind of not being. So you're walking inside of a building. Inside the building, there's like 4 of those change weapon chests, and there's a ton of laser turrets on the walls, as well as just standard enemies inside the building. I don't know if you guys know what part I'm talking about, but what
Yep,
I loved
sure
about this
do.
part is whenever, at least for me, whenever I walked through it, my game would lag substantially. So it went at about a half speed, and it became extremely easy to just avoid everything. And that was
Yeah.
very satisfying after playing this for a while of just bullet heck everywhere, just to have this little bit of slowdown to catch my breath a bit.
Dude, that slowdown is awesome.
Yeah, it worked to your
It helps
advantage.
so much.
One of the only times you really appreciate the lag in a game.
Especially the part where those snakes come out. I think when they start getting like 2 at a time.
Oh
I
yeah,
think at a certain point where there's like 2 snakes and probably like, I don't know, 6 or 7 enemies out, and it just slows way down. You feel like you're in the Matrix, just like dodging bullets.
That seems to be like an issue with the game itself, right? Because like everybody experiences that same exact thing in the same spots.
Yeah, they got a little excited.
Pretty sure that happened probably in the arcade version also, wouldn't it?
Probably.
I'd imagine. Unless the arcades were just like perfect fluid, I don't know. I thought they also had slowdown.
I feel like they did, but I got nothing to back that up.
That'd be my guess.
But those like snake enemies you were talking about, Sky, like those giant mechanical worm, snake, whatever they were, those things were
Yeah.
like the beefiest enemy in the game. If you didn't have a power up, you could not kill those things, man. I would
I
always
used a
just
lot
use a
of bombs.
bomb. Yeah, because they would pretty much always drop a power up. Most of the time, for me, it seemed like a bomb. So I'd try to get like one or two on the screen, like rush up, use a bomb, so I'd collect a new bomb and replenish it so I could kill the freaking next one because I wasn't taking it out with a regular blaster.
So there was I guess I kind of call it a mini boss of sorts in stage 4, and it was a train. Do you guys remember this?
Yep.
I had a lot of trouble with that. Did you guys as well?
I did it first until I realized you can do what you do to like other turrets. You slowly creep up and you can take them all out before they even move or shoot anything. But then after that, you still have to deal with like the main part.
Yeah, it was resilient too. Like bombs wouldn't just take this thing out, man. Like you really had to, if you either waste all of your bombs or really avoid a lot of bullet heck to take this thing out. But I lost a lot of lives on that thing.
Yeah, if you walk right up on that thing, it is a rough time.
Talking about the golden train?
So the back part of it is golden that you have to take out. Then
Yeah.
there's some turrets in the front of it too that shoot blue lasers at you.
Yeah, I didn't think that guy was that bad.
Really?
Yeah, me either.
Well, he got
The
me
thing
pretty good.
is, I think it's more intimidating than it actually is difficult to dodge. Once you take out like the lasers, those all blow up with like one bomb. Then it's just like the main gold part shooting like, bombs at you, whatever blast at you. If you just go to the bottom of the screen, you can just, like you were saying, you don't even focus on where you're shooting. Just keep on hitting shoot and just kind of go like left and right, strafing the bullets. They weren't really like that fast. I thought it was kind of easy to manage whenever you just paid attention to where the shots were coming rather than what you were actually doing.
Might just need to try him again.
I made a mistake of just running straight into that thing, not knowing there was going to be lasers in my face.
Yeah, it'll snipe
I
you
was
right
like,
out.
oh, that's one of these sections. Okay.
The only other kind of section I can think of that I wanted to talk about, there was a little bit of this on stage 4, but I think it was predominantly a stage 5 thing. The moving platforms. And in stage 5, those moving platforms are connected with a very, very narrow passageway as well. And those moving platforms took me out a good bit because I don't know, something about the physics when you're on them just felt a little wonky to me. But I don't know, man. There was just too many times, too many moving platforms, too many moving pieces, and got overwhelming. My brain just couldn't handle it all, and I fell off the stage 1,000 times.
I think it felt like when those things would move and you're on them, and you try to walk off to like a side, instead of going with the direction of that platform, I think you just stopped and like went sideways. So that's why it kind of felt weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It just
It's like I
something
think if you
felt
walk
weird.
side to side, you just like disregard the forward movement of the platform or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something was off.
Dude, I didn't get the Super Bowl power up not one time.
Really?
Now that I'm thinking about it, not once did I have that.
It was okay in certain spots, but for the most part, I didn't love it. It was definitely better in the sections with those tight maze kind of corridors.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the video Sky sent, it seems like it's the best weapon in the game if you're a freaking pro, but I couldn't figure out how to use that thing
Yeah.
effectively.
How many of us are?
Yeah, that or the flamethrower. Like I thought it was trash. See some of
Yeah.
these guys use it. It's like, man, I need to grab that thing.
See, it's so powerful. It's extremely powerful, but the range is just not good enough for this kind of game for me.
I mean, if you got to be at the level of these guys where they're going for like max score, like 9 million, whatever, like once you're at that level, I'm sure you'll be good with the flamethrower.
Mm-hmm.
That Super Bowl power up, you got to give him credit. That's a unique weapon. Like a lot of games just recycle like the same kind of thing. You have your spread shot, your machine gun, your flamethrower. I've never seen anything like that. That thing was pretty cool.
Yeah, like circles around you, and you can shoot it forward too if you just have
Yeah,
it.
just a little bit of an extra shot there.
Did you guys see any of the secrets from the videos and stuff like that?
Not other than the one I asked you about, because I was like, am I playing a different version than this guy? Because I seen something weird on the screen. But I don't know if you want to explain that, but that's the only thing I saw.
I mean, Jordan, did you see any of that?
Yeah, I saw a little bit, but not much. So you probably are more knowledgeable about that if you want to talk about it.
Well, I guess the company that made this, what is it called? Toplan?
Toaplan. It's Toaplan. I'd never heard of them before
Okay.
this.
I guess they make like a bunch of games like this, and they have like little cameos of their other game characters in this game as like little secrets, I guess. So there's a part in, is it stage 2 with all them trees, I believe?
Yes.
Well, in stage 2, I don't know how you would ever figure this out other than the dudes that made the game told you it. Apparently, if you shoot them trees in a certain order, it corresponds to whatever the last 4 digits of your score are. and they have the trees numbered a certain way. If you shoot them all in the order of your last like 4 digits, it'll spawn like, I don't know, 10 planes or something from one of their other games, and they assist you through the level.
Okay,
Which
hold
is
on.
kind of crazy.
I had a group of airplanes spawn.
You did it
on stage 1. It was on stage 1 though. I don't know how I did it, but it only happened one time. Like every
Maybe
other
it
time
was
I've ever
stage 1 then.
every other time
Yeah,
I
it is.
played the game, it didn't happen. It was only one time, and I had no idea how I did it.
That's crazy. You just randomly got that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
whatever
don't
the last 4 digits of your score was, you must have just ran up, randomly swiped those trees, and you hit them all in the right order, and you got the planes.
That's
What
crazy.
the hell? I was so confused, but it was so nice.
They have that. Another video I watched, I don't know what level it is. There's like a little lava pit, and if you go to the left side, some dude spawned a ladder somehow, and you got like, I don't know, 30,000 points from walking across a ladder or something weird like that. I've never seen it. And I think there's what I thought was the coolest one. I forget how they did it. I think it's the one level you have to shoot you break a gate open, I think, maybe stage 2 or 3. And if you have like exactly 7 bombs when you break it, a ship from one of their other games spawns and joins you. It's from Truxton, if you guys ever heard of that.
Huh.
These are such like specific
I know, I don't know.
ways to
I
make
don't know
it
how
happen.
you would just know this.
Yeah. Just get
I
lucky,
thought that
I
was
guess,
cool,
you know.
though. I used to play Truxton a lot when I was little. That was like one of my first Sega games. So
Never
like
heard
it's
of
cool
it.
to see the ship spawn there.
It's cool though.
There's probably a couple more. I think that's all the ones I can remember right now.
Yeah, that airplane thing was really the last thing I had to bring up. I didn't know anything about it. I was very confused, but I was very pleasantly confused because they were helpful.
Oh wait, there's another one too. You like shoot a rock a bunch of times, and like one of their other game characters pops out of the rock and goes with you. So that's kind of random.
Was that in stage 1? Because I think I saw a video where that happened.
Probably, yeah. I think a lot of these are in like the first couple stages that I've seen.
Well, as I said, that airplane thing was pretty much the last thing I had, so I'm pretty much tapping out on this game. If you guys have anything else you'd like to talk about with it, by all means, you have the floor.
The only thing I wanted to bring up was just, I mentioned to you guys in text, but if you play 2 players, I mean, I didn't mess with it much, but it seems like you can just constantly continue exactly where you die if you play 2 player. So once the second guy comes in and you die, and I just had the second controller just to mess around with it. And as soon as you die, anytime you respawn, whether it's a continue or a coin, you pick up exactly where you died. So you can pretty much just like bolt through the game with if you just use some credits without really, like how you have to actually have some skill originally to beat it. If you do 2 players, it looks incredibly easy.
Now, if you do that, let's say you're on the boss with both players, right?
Okay.
Then you guys die and you respawn, but you already grabbed the power-ups. Does that mean you're just stuck fighting this boss with absolutely nothing?
I mean, you always just have your regular weapon if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's say you picked all the C power-ups up. That means you can't get any more 3-shot
Right.
at that point.
Yeah.
That seems like it'd almost be more difficult at some points.
yeah. I mean, if you're good, you're better off just running through with your beefy power-ups. But you could, if you just don't care how many credits you use, you can just spam bombs every time you die. You know what I mean? Just
Oh, that's true.
easy mode
Yeah,
through
you
the
get
game.
3 bombs. Got it.
And I liked in the main menu, whenever you put in like 1 credit, it just shows the 1 character. When you put enough credits for 2 people, like it shows like a little second character pop through the back. I thought that was a nice little touch on the main menu there.
Kyle, you got anything else, bro?
No, I'm out of credits, dude.
He's all tapped out.
I got one more thing to ask.
Oh boy.
Have any of you guys ever seen a 1-up spawn?
I did once, yes.
You got
I
that?
did get one.
I have not. I didn't see it at all. Yeah, I saw some dude get it. It's like a red power-up and it gives
Yeah.
you an extra life.
Yep.
Apparently that's super rare, and it's almost never guaranteed to happen.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I did see it one time. I was curious. I was like, I wonder if you can ever get 1-ups. I got 1-ups from Score at one point, and then I got one that was just like a little icon. I was like, oh, you actually can get a 1-up.
Yeah, that's like the missable extra life you could get. Like, you can either get through the game with 8, I think, and that might bump you to 9. Whatever it is, like that's like a random life that you could get or not get through your playthrough.
Not me. I'm not getting 9 lives. That's for damn sure.
No way. About all I got. So, no one else has anything. I'm incredibly reluctant to throw this over to you, Brad, but I guess we don't have a choice. So go ahead and let's torture us with these numbers, man.
Yep, we gotta do it. It's time for the numbers. Let's see, this incredibly difficult game, how many credits it took us to beat it. I don't know who wants to start first, but I'll start by saying my first run, which I'm not counting, was probably over 100 credits. I stopped keeping count. I just kept on going.
I want to go last.
All right, I'll jump in. My first playthrough, I don't know why I did this, because I've never done this in any other previous game, but for some reason I miscounted my credits, and I tallied up a credit every time I died, rather than actually using all the lives and then putting a credit for some reason. So that was probably around, like, my wrong count was like 140 something, so I realistically probably spent maybe 40 or 50 credits total.
Okay.
Since you get, what, like 2 lives or something?
Right.
I don't know why I did it like that. That was kind of random. Then I realized, oh, I'm doing this wrong. So I played it a couple more times. The best I did was 13 credits used.
13.
Yeah. I was trying to get better right before the podcast, do another playthrough. I was doing so well at like 5 credits, and then I hit a section, man, and it all went to crap. So 13's my best.
I wonder if you hit the same section as me, because I also beat it in 13 credits on my best run.
No!
Yeah.
What?
Dude, I beat the third boss on 1 credit, and then I died after him, like a little bit on that stage, and then I just lost my momentum. I started getting it back, and then I got to that stupid floating platform section, and I probably lost like 5 credits there.
Is it the one where them little, like, bugs shoot purple things at you?
Yep, stage 5, the one we were
Dude,
talking about.
that's what happened to me.
Yeah, it got us both.
Oh my god, that section sucks.
Yeah, that was brutal. But yeah, I also got down to 13. I played it, I don't know how many times. I probably beat it like 4 or 5. But there were certain points where I'd die, like I'd be running through, and I'd die, and I'm like, nope, I'm just resetting it. I'm not. This is a bad run. I
not
got to
even
start
worth
over.
it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. We had like the same playthrough.
You guys should have called me. I could have beat that spot for you.
Yeah.
I know. I wish I had Kyle's skills in that section, man. I would have beat this in like 5.
If we were in a real arcade, that's what we would have did. Me and Sky would have got to the point, hopped out of the way. Kyle would have hopped in, beat it on the arcade, and we would have switched back over. It would have been great.
All right, boys, ready for trivia?
yeah. Let's go.
Nice.
Moving on.
Run it.
Who wants to go first, Kyle or Jordan?
I guess I'll tell you the sad story. So I played one playthrough, or you know what I mean, one time, whatever, a couple hours ago. I also did what Skylar did for some reason, but I couldn't even venture to guess how much it messed up. Where I think I was dying just so much so often at times, where I was like kept adding credits when it wasn't a full game over.
I don't know why I did that.
I did it too. I think it was just there was so many deaths that I was just like, you know what I mean? Oh, here we go again. Another credit.
I was like, oh, here we go. Here's 100. I die again. I'm like, oh, look, 101. I just kept marking them down every time I died. I'm like, wait, I did that way wrong, dude.
Yeah, I did that for a little while. I don't know when I stopped doing it, how many credits are off, whatever.
Oh my god.
But so I ended up with spending 80 credits, except the tragic part is I didn't beat the final boss because the emulator froze.
No.
Yeah, and I was not. And now time wise, I probably had enough time to go back and redo it, but I didn't care.
I wouldn't have asked you to do that.
I was just not doing it. Yeah, I was over it.
He wasn't that hard, anyways.
I was on the final boss, and I died a couple times on him, and then I think I went to pause it real quick, and then it wouldn't unpause. It was just over.
You know what? I think due to the fact that Kyle just did pure skill on that elevator part with no bombs, I think we should just let him have that.
Yeah, that's close enough.
The final boss doesn't matter at that point. He already did the hardest part.
Wait, actually, hold on. I'm going to reserve this comment until after I hear Jordan.
Oh, no. Nah, it's okay, man. You're good. I was
All
going
right,
to say,
Big J.
if I'm okay with them having that token total, I'd say if anything, maybe add 2 to it or something just in case, like a buffer or something, But so I guess it's my turn. Anyway, let me preface this by saying that, as I said earlier, I do wish that I had more free time to play this again. I kind of did a little bit, but so I actually got to the point when I replayed this that I was able to get to the stage 3 boss on 2 tokens. I was getting significantly better with this, and I just finished it, so I still remembered a lot of the strategies that I did, the strategies and patterns that I did in the later stages. So I very well might go back and play this again to get a better score because I know for a fact that I can now. I just genuinely ran out of time to do it. So unfortunately, I have to go with the token count that I have for, I guess, what you'd say is my first playthrough when I was still learning all of the patterns, and I learned halfway through how the triple shotgun worked. So I was playing with a handicap for a while, and I ended up with 119 tokens.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not.
That seems
Hefty-
reasonable for a first run
hefty,
through.
Yeah.
hefty number. But yeah, as I said, I can at least get to the stage 3 boss in 1 or 2 tokens. I still remember some of the later strategies. I think I might play it again at some point, and just to see what I can end up with now.
Yeah, if you wait too long, you'll start losing it there. So if you better get back into it and get that score quick.
Full agree. I'll probably do it in the next day or two here. Give it another go.
All right, everyone ready to move into our personal ratings then?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I was struggling to come up with a number. This one's might be our biggest number yet. I went with
No.
300,000. That's
Oh my god, okay. Let me open up the
Hold up.
calculator here.
300,000. That's how many points it took to get my first one up. So I just went with 300K.
Definitely a unique number. So
I mean, if you guys got a better number, that's what we got here.
I gave you my number.
What, 3?
3, because that's how many of us beat it.
Yeah.
oh man.
Had a couple zeros on there. What's,
I like it.
So-
300,000. That's good.
300,000. If you're having trouble thinking about it, just do it out of 30, then add a bunch of zeros on.
I feel like if this game had like a normal difficulty level to it, it would be a lot of fun. I think I would really enjoy it. And I get that like not every game is going to be easy. Not every game should be easy. And there's definitely people out there who think that, a difficulty spike is a good thing for a game. I don't necessarily love that. I think this game is a little too difficult to get a very great score. I do think it's still over half, like maybe around like 60-ish% or so. But I don't want to just go with a straight solid number. So we're going to go, you ready? Write this one down, Brad.
Okay.
180,213.
Alrighty, you got it. Locked in.
That's crazy. Because I think it's 180,214.
Ooh, okay, that's fair.
You guys should fight over it.
Yeah, I don't. Actually, that's not. I don't know, man. I don't know where you're getting that extra point from. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Was that your real number, Kyle?
No.
You just
Should
one
be.
up in Jordan? What are we?
I'll just one up.
Price
him.
is Right rules,
We
baby.
playing Price is Right over here, man. What the
Yeah.
actual retail
Bro,
prices?
they got me. They got me at the Price is Right rules on the switcheroo. Good, man.
I'm still thinking about my number, dude.
All right, let me toss mine out. I'm rating this one pretty high because, like Brad said, he was saying I'd probably like it because it does give off like Alien Syndrome vibes. Definitely kind of felt like that. So I'm giving this a 285,000.
Jeez,
Alright.
hefty.
I'm getting very close to perfect on it, but I can't just because some of those sections are insane. Unless you're already a pro at the game, man, it is rough.
That's a spicy meatball, my friend. But if you love it, you love it.
I was decent at Alien Syndrome. Like I won credited like
Decent?
the first playthrough of it.
You freaking crushed Alien Syndrome.
I was decent at it.
Ain't
This
none of us
game was
crushing this.
Way harder than Alien Syndrome.
Yes.
I think it's a lot to do with that checkpoint system though. That really screws you sometimes. So some of it felt a little too harsh, but that's pretty much the only other thing keeping it from like a perfect score for me.
I want to go next here because you know what number I had written down?
What's that?
285,332. That's my score.
What?
Just
Bro, you Price is Right me again.
Wow.
What the-
Dude, it was a
nice, bitch.
it was a hard game. Like that's pretty much what we talked about the entire podcast, how hard this game was. But overall, it wasn't. I mean, other than some like the hard checkpoints that kind of struggled at. But I think it was kind of nice that if you died a couple times, it set you back to the previous checkpoint. So it kind of made up for it. So you weren't really hard locked there. You could kind of get back, get some of the power ups, and get through. If you're struggling on a section that you couldn't do with just a standard weapon. I thought all the boss battles were really fun and interesting. They were all pretty varied. They each had their own unique patterns and ways to fight them. Just the designs of the boss looked freaking awesome. I like the mechanics of like swapping the weapons back and forth depending on what you need at the time. They were pretty generously spaced around so you weren't really stuck with a weapon you didn't want. A lot of cool power-ups and just like, I don't know, a lot of unique stuff. And this was a pretty difficult game, but it was fun.
Another thing of this is similar to Alien Syndrome is everything is pretty much like I don't know what you call it, like deterministic, I guess. Like the same thing happens every time if you do the same things, pretty much. Like all the enemy spawns are the same, so you can like route a path, and pretty much if you don't mess up, you can take that same path just about every time, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean.
So you can pretty much route your way through the game, and you can expect everything that's going to happen. So you can plan the whole game out and learn like a pattern for like every level, except for a handful of enemies.
I do want to point one thing out, and I'm trying to remember which stage this is. I think it was the stage that has like those weird green caterpillar things that pop up over the pathway, and there's like lava below you. I think it might be stage 3. So there was a certain checkpoint inside that like walkway area where I noticed, I don't know if the game just felt bad for me at this point, but every now and then when I would continue from that checkpoint, it would only have like half of the enemies from there to the boss. Like it was taking it easy on me. It's like, wow, this guy sucks. We're going to take some of these enemies away from him so he can just play the game. Every now and then, I don't know what to term it was weird.
One more comment before Kyle gets to his number is the music is absolutely awesome in this game.
It's pretty tough.
Yeah, that's solid music for sure.
I think it's like level 5 or something? Like has like a weird little like kind of Egyptian theme to it.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of it, then it goes to like whatever, like a jazzy kind of thing, and then back to like Egyptian. I don't know, the music in this game and every level is amazing.
Yeah, I love the music as well here. Kyle, you ready? You got your number figured out for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna start by saying that I don't know if like at certain spots, particularly like the very last level when you're going across the platforms that have the little trap doors that kind of fall out from under you. I think that area had like a minimum of 2 sort of like different seeds to it. So if you like died and respawned, like it was putting me at like the same distance back, but the layout of the floor and where the trap doors were not always the same.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Because I remember like specifically it would put me back, and as soon as I would like spawn, immediately to my left, like top left, would be a trap door, and then right above that trap door is the power up box.
Right.
But that wasn't always the case. Sometimes I would die and it would put me back in that same spot, but that trap door and that power up box wouldn't be there.
Oh.
Are you sure it wasn't like an instance of you getting a game over and it kind of set you back? Because there were at least 2 different spawn points in that area. Are you sure you weren't getting thrown back to the one before it?
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's the only thing I could think of.
Go do your research. I'm not doing that. But that could have been the case. But okay, my score is going to be 240,000.
All right, that's respectable.
Good
It's
scores.
respectable.
Well deserved.
The game is still cool. Like it's obviously super difficult. Like I said, I think some of the difficulty was a little artificial. Like I just didn't like the way I love when shit's difficult, but you have to like implement it right. And I think in some places it just felt like
Forced.
they just kind of did it because they were like, hey, we should make this really hard. Like this one spot or like a couple spots like really hard. And like the way they did it just didn't feel great to me. The respawning system was like, it felt almost like backwards to me. Like it felt like it should have been if you're dying and just using like one of your extra lives, that like going from that spot there should be like a little easier. And like if you die like 3 times in a game over and you go like back farther, like that should be, you should be punished a little more for dying so much and getting pushed back. But it almost felt like it was reversed because the farther back you went, the more upgrades you could get. So that part just felt kind of weird. The power-ups were, I think there should have been like, there could have been 1 or 2 more like normal power-ups. Because there's actually only 2. And then the other ones are all special power-ups. And it's like, I mean, maybe you didn't like need any more, but the option would have been nice to just not have 1 or 2 different ones. Because it was like if you picked up one, then like every other power, if it's the one that you kind of wanted, then like every other power-up that you see, you knew was guaranteed to be the other like H directional shot, which you didn't want for 90% of the game. But whatever, that's just me being picky, I guess. I think the bombs were really good. Not only did they clear like the entire map that you could see, but like Jordan mentioned earlier, they would destroy any incoming projectiles coming at you, so they were super useful. They were pretty generous with giving you the bombs. I also didn't like the fact, like we've talked about before, like towards that last section again, where like if you died and didn't have enough power-ups, you almost like needed these bombs to like get through the section, which just kind of felt like, I mean, something needed to be adjusted there. It's like if I'm not strong enough to like kill these things fast enough because I don't have power-ups, and I have to spam these bombs, just like run past and like avoid everything and just blow everything up with a bomb, Like, that didn't feel good. It felt like there should have been a way around that. But, so yeah, it's getting a 240.
That's still pretty decent. I'm surprised.
It's a good score.
It's like for most of the game, they go, yeah, we'll let them put a quarter in. They'll get this far in a quarter. And they go, right here? Oh, that's a $20 spot right there, baby.
Yeah, it's what it felt like.
It's
It
the
felt
money
like
maker.
There we go. We're making
specific
money here,
spots.
boy.
Yeah.
They go,
Well, the arcade is
we're
making
good for
money.
a little while. Oh, yeah, for sure. They go, you know what? We're for the people. We're for the people. For the people. Now we're a business right here.
So yeah.
Quarterly sales are down.
Somebody's getting fired if we don't get that $20 spot in here stat.
All right, boys, we got our ratings in. Let's put it in our rankings amongst all of the games we played for the podcast so far. This is going to be our 19th game. Who wants to give us a landing spot here to start with?
I'm lower middle,
Ooh.
but you guys are pretty clearly all higher than I am on this.
I'm easy top 6.
That's
top
what I'm thinking.
6?
Easy top 6. Anywhere in the top
That's-
6,
that's
I
my
would not
thoughts.
complain.
No way. I don't think this
I'm
sniffs
around
top
6,
6.
7.
The only reason I don't say top 5 is out of respect for Turtles, Jordan. This is easy a top
I don't
3.
think this sniffs the top 6. That's
I
insane.
would personally, for me personally, I would put this baby right at number 2.
Yo, that's absolutely crazy.
That's my spot, man.
That's crazy.
I have to go by how much time I want to put into the games, not how much time it forces me to put in. And I actually wanted to get better at this game and play it a lot.
Oh, I
That's the
just
only
wanted
other
it to be
game.
over so bad.
None of these other games I wanted to play as much as I did this game.
Yeah.
That's why it's higher for me.
That's gnarly. I cannot even fathom you saying that right now.
My
Dude,
ideal
no,
spot is 4th, right under Squawkers.
I could even be fine with that.
I mean, I'm just
I
saying,
personally like it better.
I'm cool anywhere in the top.
Bro, I was coming in here about to say like 15.
Yeah, right. This ain't no 15. Get out of here.
Oh,
He
the
puts it-
That's not
difficulty,
happening.
the difficulty
With
drops
SD
this
Gundam?
significantly.
Who is this guy?
The-
Bro, you put
difficulty
Gundam
of
above
this-
that trash above this masterpiece. Get out of here.
It was gonna go above it, but I would put it below Gundam.
There ain't no universe where Mega Twins is better than this game. I don't care.
The difficulty of this game drops it significantly for me, and the difficulty just makes it not as fun as it should be.
I think there's only it's not the whole game that's insanely difficult though. That's
Yeah,
don't
after
know.
you played
I
it
kinda
multiple
like the
times to
difficulty.
figure it out,
well, that's any game though.
usually we can play this once or twice and we're just fine.
That's all I want to play most of these games is once or twice.
Sometimes that's too many.
To be honest,
This one takes effort.
Let Kyle say something here. Kyle, where are you thinking?
I'm thinking I could probably put this at 7.
Right under Bucky?
Yep.
I'd do that, I guess. I don't. Oof. Say, putting it at number 2 is the spiciest take I've ever heard in my life.
man, B mentioning being respectful to Jordan, but after hearing that under SD Gundam, I have no respect for Jordan.
I was trying to put it one spot above SD Gundam, even if I disagree with it, but
Now I'm fighting to bump Turtles down just to
Oh,
spite
man.
them.
Turtles will fight you.
How could you? Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I would actually put this above Turtles, but I don't want to put it above Bucky O'Hare because I think Bucky had like more variation. It was like I just think it was better.
Okay.
But I think it's better than Turtles for sure.
That's
But I'll
insane.
settle. I'd like it to be like 7, right above Mazinger.
Man,
That's a little, I don't hate that, but it's a little low for my taste personally.
that's what I'm feeling, man. I would play this a million times over Dungeons and Dragons Tower of Doom, which was not a bad game, but I would prefer this game.
I only want to play it again because I know it can improve my tokens.
See, the Dungeons and Dragons is a good game. I also like faster pace. Like that D&D game was so slow, man. It's such
Yeah.
a slog
Good.
to get through. It was good, but it took forever. This game is it's run and gun, man. It's quick reaction. You can do patterns and stuff.
Too stressful
Just,
for me,
just
man.
fast gameplay. Whew. Yeah, it ain't going no 15. I cannot endorse that.
This is a tough one, man.
Man, Jordan got me sweating right now, man.
I'd do 6 or 7, but if you guys want to put this above Turtles, you're gonna have to fight me over it.
Oh, bro, I'll come over there and headlock you right now.
That's
Oh,
a
come
weird,
on
that's a
over,
weird
man.
challenge. You got
Door's
2
wide
versus
open.
1, dude.
I'm kicking your door in, bro.
Do it, man.
Some tense rankings here. I don't know how we're going to settle this one tonight. It's tough. This doesn't feel like trivia's going to solve it. I feel like there's too many emotions to solve by
It's too
trivia.
varied, man.
what's the average? So
Now,
what?
now it's getting personal.
Sky wanted 2, Brad wanted like 4-ish or so.
Right.
Kai wanted 7, and I wanted 15. So it was a slap it right
Kyle
around.
said about 7.
If y'all want to put it up high, just don't put it above Turtles. Put it at like 6 or 7 or something.
What if, hear me out, what if we gave Jordan Bump Turtles up 1? I know there was a fight there between that and Dungeons and Dragons. What if we give Turtles at least 1 more up if we're going to move this up higher? Still give them in the top 5?
So wait, are you suggesting put Turtle? So Dungeons and Dragons will be moving down 2 spots, is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, but you wanted Turtles above Dungeons and Dragons regardless. So that's a win for you.
I mean, yeah, but I also want Dungeons and Dragons significantly above this garbage.
Oh, bro.
Oh, scratch that.
Oh, bump Turtles.
Bump it.
Screw this guy. He's done.
I have zero nostalgia for this game.
Me neither, man. I just thought it was an awesome game. I'd never heard of it before this.
What about 10 years from now? All these games are going to have nostalgia for us.
Well, we're not ranking it 10 years from now. We're ranking it right now.
We'll be ranking this in 10 years. What do you mean? It's just the beginning.
All right, welcome to episode 7032 of Arcadiology. We're going to redo our entire list from scratch. Somehow number 1 is still Alien Syndrome.
Kyle saying it, putting it around, 7?
Right.
I mean, that's a step in the right direction.
7's in the right direction. I mean, obviously, like I think it's better than like Turtles and probably even Dungeons and Dragons, but I just don't think it's better than Bucky O'Hare. Just out of like, this game feels like it's like this and Alien Syndrome are very specific games. Like, and it comes down like Bucky O'Hare has like, I'm just trying to think of like, it has like 4 different characters. They all have different like weapons. There's a lot of like variety to it. It's still like in a similar realm of game, but there's like just more variety to it. Like this game is just like very like hardcore-ish as when it comes to like the player base. It's just, this is like the type of game that's like some guy plays it for 3 years to get a no-hit run, puts it on YouTube and gets 14 views and no one cares. Like that's like the genre of this game.
So, it's that real small like tiny community.
It's very like a niche thing where I just feel like when I'm looking at like an overall game, like Bucky O'Hare was like more enjoyable. It was still had difficult parts, but you weren't banging your head against the wall. You didn't have to play it for like, 17 hours to like learn all these patterns throughout the whole game. Like, I mean, but it's like different people. So like some people were definitely into that kind of thing, but I don't know. I think Bucky O'Hare overall was better, but like I said, I think this game's better than Turtles and Dungeons. So it's like,
yeah, I guess if it was in an arcade, 90% of people would probably quit by level 1 or 2.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And only people like us would actually sit there and put like $10 into it. So I guess it takes a certain kind of person.
Can I just say real quick while I'm at this? This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So, you know how we always love the bad translation in these games. So I don't know if you guys read it, but in the video I'm watching for it right now, it got to the end of the game after you beat the final boss, and the screen reads, "Congratulations, you've completed this game. Let's try again. Come on."
Yeah, it just says do it again.
But I love the congratulation and at the end, "Come on." Like it's forcing you to do this again.
Trying to hype
actually,
you
that
up.
sold me, dude. I'm about to load it up right now.
Anyway,
this is a game I'm going to be playing after this too. Like I still want to play this.
only because I want to improve my token total. And then I never want to see it again. I was full on. I'm not the kind of person that will like throw a controller when I'm mad, but I was definitely squeezing it.
Oh, I'm that kind of person. I've been that person my whole life. I don't know, boys. How are we gonna come to a consensus here? Might have to cut some of this shit out, man. This is getting real.
Somebody better figure it out because I'm getting hot and I need this AC on.
No one's stopping you.
It's gonna be loud. You'll hear it.
Yeah, the sound in the background.
Oof. I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's a game for like all of us up here that we don't want it to go over.
I don't feel right dropping it underneath D&D.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Then again, maybe I could settle for it being a little bit lower because Alien Syndrome's kind of in the same vein, and that is up in the top. So maybe I could compromise on it. I don't want to, but I probably could.
We don't want one genre dominating like all the top rankings.
Yeah. I guess it's good to have varied, different styles of games up near the top. I guess Bucky O'Hare is pretty unique.
Kyle's saying under Bucky.
Yeah, next game we have where you guys are feeling like upper middle, and I'm saying this garbage. I want it off the list. I'll let you have that. That's something.
Bro, you got to take back that garbage statement about this game. I can't have that.
Fine, it's not garbage, but it is extremely stressful. And I don't like that.
All right,
I get it.
We're going to wrap this up and put it in at 7 then? Everyone
That's
okay
okay.
with that?
Wrap it up, dude.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, so we got number 6, Bucky O'Hare. Number 7, Outzone. Number 8, Mazinger Z. And that's our rankings. Jordan, ready for trivia?
Yeah, let's just do it quick and get it over with here because this is a long episode.
Yeah.
All right, heading into trivia. Sky's in the lead with 37. Brad is 28. Kyle with 26, bringing up the rear. Not too far behind Brad, though, there. Question number 1. In 1992, Toplin released a spiritual successor to Outzone named what? A. 7 Completed. B. Fix 8. Or C. 10 Zone.
I feel like Sky probably knows because he did some research on this game, so let him go last. I'll go with B.
Okay.
I'm going with A.
All right.
I'm also going to go with B.
It is B. Fix 8, which I assume is supposed to be like Fix 8, but I don't know. It's spelled Fix 8. Correct answer is B. Number 2. Earlier, I mentioned having a tough time with the boss of Stage 3. What is this boss's name? A. Nightmare. B. Robo-Eye. C. Crystal Core.
I actually don't remember any boss names. I'm just going to say A.
Yeah, I don't
Because it's
remember them
probably
either.
Nightmare.
I saw it online.
I'll go with Crystal Core, whichever one that one was.
C.
I'm leaning towards A as well.
It is A. Nightmare, which I don't know where they get the name Nightmare from. Doesn't feel super fitting to me, but that's what I saw. We'll roll with it. Question number 3. Okay, here, we gotta pronounce this weird planet again. I don't really know how to say it, but I'll try. What year do the Owagira aliens begin their invasion of the planet Earth? A. 2075. B. 2095. C. 3000.
I'm going to say B.
Okay,
2095, whichever one that was.
that was B.
Yeah, B sounds good.
All right, y'all got it. And also, Sky with the clean sweep this week. Good job, my friend.
Woo! Thank you.
Very nice.
Brings Sky to 40, Brad to 30, Kyle to 28. Not bad. Well, boys, this is it. If you have anything else you want to say, speak now.
Outzone should be higher.
Team Outzone, baby.
He's an underrated.
Bucky O'Hare and Turtles, though, man.
I'm looking at the one video that Skylar sent in the group chat that has the guy doing the speed run in like 12 minutes, and this is where I knew the answer for your Nightmare, the boss name, because when the guy has a speed run and he has the 1 through 7 levels and how long it takes him to do each level, and I believe that each one of these levels that he has them named, and I think it's the boss of every level.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if you guys know any other boss names, so I don't know if it'll.
Nope.
The first one, he has it titled Mazurka. 2 is Shudder. 3 is Nightmare. 4 is Azura. 5 is Junk. 6 is Cypher. And 7 is Severe.
Cypher, like Final Fantasy VIII Cypher.
So I'm guessing if number 3 was, he named it Nightmare, and you said the boss's name was Nightmare, I'm assuming all these are boss names.
And they're all weird names except for Nightmare and Junk.
Yeah. I thought they just named their sections like whatever, just randomly. Like I thought he was just saying it was a nightmare, so that's.
Yeah, I wasn't
Nightmare.
sure what it was
Fair.
until that trivia question popped up, and I was like, wait, I remember seeing Nightmare as one of the stages.
Ah, okay.
That's what I saw when I looked it up. I think it was on. I think it was just on the Wikipedia page. It just had a picture of him fighting the boss and said "fighting the stage 3 boss Nightmare." So rolled with it. Could be the name of the stages, but if what I read is right, then I guess they're the bosses. But anyway, I guess that's we're running long, so I think that's all we're gonna talk about here. I think we're gonna wrap it up. So next time on Arcadiology, we have Altered Beast.
Rise from your grave.
Follow us on all social media at Arcadiology, the Twitters, the Facebooks, and the Instagrams, and the Snapchats, and all of that fun stuff. Email us at arcadiologyquestions@gmail.com. leave us 5-star reviews so we can read them on the show. I'd really enjoy that. Brad, once again, where can they find the other way of submitting questions? I never remember, so I just let you handle it every time.
It'll be in the description of the podcast here on the episode description. You click in there, there'll be a form. You can fill it out, send us a question for us to read. And there's also a Discord link in there if you want to join the Discord group we got.
Heck yeah, do that. Let's go ahead and say goodbye, boys.
See ya.
Later.
Later, dudes.
Insert the closing line here, bro. See you later.